guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to go through my figure drawings, and I just wanted to talk to you first before I show you any of my sketchbook work a little bit about figure drawing. This is probably my most trickiest subject, but it's something I'd like to work on and improve over time. I think the best way to get a hold of drawing the figure is to go to life drawing classes, and I know sometimes that there isn't really any local, like where I am there's no local classes, so I've had to go to like short courses, or or draw family members, although they're not always up for being models, especially with no clothes on. So in actual fact, like my partner like point blank refuses to model for me if I ask him, with no clothes on basically. So I think the best place to go to learn to figure draw is life drawing classes, and I know that can seem intimidating, but I mean, I remember when I first went to a life drawing class, and obviously you don't see people naked all the time, so it's something you have to get used to, but you do get used to. The first time I think the model had to lay down, and she had all her lady garden pointing in my direction, and I was like, I was a bit like, oh my god, like where do I look? But you're there to draw the figure, not really to concentrate on people's bits and bobs. So I quickly got past that and tried to focus on, you basically just need to focus on the positioning, and so you can get the positioning right, the angles, the shape of the body, the proportions. A lot to do with drawing a figure is to do with proportions, because you can see a lot of drawings where the arms are not, the arms are too short or too long, but if you examine the figure, you can measure points, like to where your arms end to certain parts of your body. So I hope I'm not really explaining that very well, but it's all about proportion and getting your shapes correct. So I'm not like an expert in this field. You don't the work that I post generally, especially finished works, are nothing to do with the figure. I don't really, because I don't feel that I'm ready to create finished works of the figure at the moment, but it's something I'm working on. And if these subjects you find tricky, and it's just something to work on, it's like a project, you just take it on and you just take your time and you learn. Another thing to do apart from going to figure drawing classes is to practice drawing. Like if you go on YouTube, you can find still like models on there, but they're basically, it's just like photographs, and it's like timed. So you'll have a photograph of a model that'll come up, and it'll be timed for like, say, like 10 seconds or a minute or longer, and then it will switch poses. So you're basically just practicing drawing poses and gesture drawing. So I won't go into depth about it all now, but it's just some general advice to find a figure drawing class. When you're not going to figure drawing classes, look up on like YouTube or sites that provide poses for figure drawing for artists. There's lots around. I've done lots of practice this way on timed. It's always good to time yourself so you can just see what you can get drawn within that time. Like, but say if you was doing like a 1 minute drawing, you wouldn't be able to like do facial features and all loads of detail like hair and stuff. You're basically just getting your proportions down, doing a rough gesture drawing of either if they're in movement or if they're still. You're just basically getting an idea of the pose and the proportions, so you have to kind of be realistic, on your timed, when you're doing timed drawings. If you're doing like a 10-minute drawing, you can afford to fit a bit, more detail in, but not an awful lot. You won't get a finished drawing. These are just practicing your proportions and the poses. So I definitely recommend those two things. I've been to a few life drawing classes. Like I said, I don't have one local to me that I can go to every week, but when I can get to one, I do, and they're very beneficial. They're very hard though. I find it very hard to actually draw the figure when it's standing in front of me, because they're moving, or you've got to get used to measuring the proportions. So so that's that, and obviously just practicing from like the timed poses. You can get clothed figure, you practice your clothed figure drawing from photos or from the TV. You can watch, pause the TV and just do some quick sketches. There's lots of ideas. If you search like Pinterest or just the general internet to find out ideas and activities to help you improve on your figure drawing or learn to figure draw, there's lots of them around. So it's just basically utilising these and actually doing the exercises over and over and over again until you get it right. So it's something I've been doing. I haven't been doing it recently, but I have been doing it over the last 3 years on and off. And you know, I have seen improvements in my proportions, most definitely, so it does come with practice. Also, I actually used to go to an art, like a well-established artist studio. I used to visit there on an evening. Like, he basically would have other artists come to his studio to do some painting, or he'd do a demonstration. He was like he's an abstract artist, and he'd create massive abstract paintings and sell them for quite a lot of money. So I felt quite privileged that I was able to go and visit his studio on a weekly basis and get some insight. Just his general conversation was really interesting, the stories he had to tell, his experience, because he's a well-experienced artist, well established. So it was really interesting to work in his studios each week. Unfortunately, I moved house, so he's not nearby. So, but I do hope that, you know, at some time, maybe next year, that I can get back into doing that. But it's, you know, those sorts of resources are good opportunities to improve on your art, learn from, you know, other people that are more experienced than you also. There's no point learning from somebody that's less experienced than you. You know, once you've got to your milestones, you need to then look for, like, once you've reached a milestone, you then need to look for, I would say, artists, you know, artists that are ahead of you, so then you can learn more. So each time that you come to a milestone in your art, you need to review, okay, what artists do I follow, am I looking at, am I admiring, have I reached that sort of level yet? And if you have, then you need to, and you still want to improve, then you need to look at artists that, you know, you like the style of, but are more experienced and are their works better than yours to learn from. I think it's good to have artists to learn from that influence you, whether they're old masters' work that you look at and that you follow, or whether it's a contemporary artist that you like the look of their work. It doesn't matter what era or what, you know, as long as you like their style. Write down a list of what do you like about that artist, what would you like to learn from that artist, you know, why are you interested in that artist's work. Don't copy their work, just think about what inspires you from their work that you can incorporate into your own practice and make it your own, like your own style, because obviously, you know, we all get influenced by different people for different things and different reasons, and it's fine to take pieces of that and incorporate it into your own work in your own style. That's just part of human nature. That's what we do, not just with art, with other things, you know, cooking, the way somebody runs their house, anything. So those are my little tips, you know, my little tips and advice, you know, when learning something new like figure drawing that's quite tricky. So if I can think of any other tips and things like book recommendations, I think I've done a video on a figure drawing book, but there is a lot more resources that I use and have that I'll either link below, or I'll do a blog post, or I'll include in my blog post when I actually post this video. So be sure to hop over to the blog post that goes along with this video for more resources, anything I can think of that will help, links to other YouTube channels or the books that I use, or anything really. I'll try and link it in a blog post for you. So I'm going to end the talking, and the rest of the video is just going to be me showing you some of my you know, my drawings. None of it's finished work, it's all practice and it's all sketchbook work, and it's at different stages. Some of it's timed, you know, it's just what I've worked on. And one thing I want to say is that I actually started to do an art degree, and a lot of the art degree that I did was drawing based. So it was painting based as well, but the main bulk that I did was very strict drawing. So I had to do a lot of figure drawing work during the course. I also had to do a lot of still life drawing during that course. As you'll probably noticed, that my still life drawing is quite probably one of my strong aspects. And you know, some of my figure drawing work you can see is probably got to a certain point, but I still think it needs improving in order to create finished work. I won't, not to go on too long, but I didn't continue with my art degree because as a mother and working full time and doing my art, I found it quite restrictive as well. I couldn't be expressive in what I want to draw and paint. I had to do a lot of, obviously you're following a course, you have to do what they're asking you to do, and they wanted a lot of work done within like 10 weeks. You'd have to produce like 20 finished works, and you know, it just wasn't possible for me. I found it was getting me down, it was putting me off actually creating, it was making me less creative. So I made a very, very hard decision to put it aside and just do independent learning, which I've taken a lot from the course though, and it's something that I can pick up on later on down the line when my son's older and I've got more time. Maybe when I'm, you know, when I'm more of a full-time artist, I can then pick up on some academic study again. But I don't regret it. It really laid good foundations down for me for drawing and learning about materials and painting. So I learned a lot, and I spent a good couple of years doing that course, so it's not gone to waste. I've taken everything from it and I'm continuing my learning, but it's just independent learning. So not to bore you with it all, but that's just, I just thought I'd let you know that as well, so you know that I've got I have got some academic background, but a lot of what I do is self-learning. I mean, when you do an art degree from home, a lot of it is self-learning really. You're given instructions, but not really how to do it, or, you know, you're not handheld. You basically are given assignments and things, and you go away, you have to research, look into practice, find out how to actually get those assignments done. So a lot of it is self-learning as well, and that's put me in good stead as well to go off on my own and continue that self-learning. So I hope you find this video interesting, and I hope it helps anyone that's thinking about figure drawing. This video is mainly based for somebody that's not established at figure drawing, but just who wants to get started, or is maybe along the same lines as myself in their journey for figure drawing. So I'm going to end my talking now and show you some work. So thanks for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye!